see it at the very top of our agenda at this conference. In fact, the lines on the section on lines 12 to 14 refer to the contribution made by hundreds of thousands of young men, I think just young men, who were conscripted into national service now well over 50 years ago, in the 40s and 50s. And I should declare an interest because I was one of them. And it seemed to me for many years that the contribution of those young people, we were all teenagers, has largely been forgotten and even at the time was undervalued. I'd just like to make 3 points. The first point, obviously, is that those national service personnel were conscripts. They served in most cases for 2 years. They had little choice in the matter. They had little choice as to which unit they went to or where they served. But I do recall the stoic acceptance by most of them. They put up with it in the time-honoured tradition of the services. And they did their job well. I think it's important to make that point. This was 2 years when they might have been expecting to begin work, start training or an apprenticeship, perhaps go to university. Work and careers held back for 2 years in what passed for peacetime. I suppose you could call it a sort of extended gap year, but without the luxury of any choice. The second point I'd like to make is, well, was it peacetime? You may recall, some of you may recall, that in the 50s, conflicts had a habit of erupting all over the world. In colonies, protectorates where Britain still had some control, in Malaya, in various Middle Eastern states, in Cyprus, in Africa. I vividly remember personally the tension we felt in Germany in 1956 as the Soviets intervened in Hungary, and indeed we intervened in Suez. The Third World War seemed to be very close at that time, and our necks, I thought, might well be on the block. It is a fact, as has been said, that many national service conscripts, young teenagers, lost their lives in these various conflicts, and whatever the merits of the conflicts, as many people have made the point very powerfully, whatever the merits of the conflicts, these young people served their country. Without the third point, without the contribution of those young people, this country could not have met its global commitments of the time. National servicemen occupied garrisons and bases from Singapore to southern Arabia, from Malta to Malaya, from Hong Kong to the edges of the Himalayas. And as a country, we were stretched way beyond our means. Rings a bell, doesn't it? And in the 60s, this commitment was rightly cut back by the then Labour government. My point is that that commitment was only possible because of conscription. Without national service, that would not have been possible. This country depended upon those young people. And so I think they do deserve recognition of some sort for that commitment and that sacrifice. It's a bit late in the day, but it's not too late. So please support this motion, and please remember the vital contribution that national servicemen made in those 15 years from the mid-40s to 1960. Thank you.
Thank you.